Her so-called best friend mocked me at dinner. She deserves someone better than you. I shut him down right there in front of everyone. She snapped back, apologize or we're done. I just smiled. I didn't say a word. But weeks later, when she finally walked back through the door, she learned what done really meant. For 3 years, life with Anna was steady, good, sometimes even great. I'm a lawyer, which means I spend my days knee-deep in the ugliest parts of human behavior. Coming home to her felt like breathing fresh air. She worked as a paralegal, sharp-minded, driven, with dreams of law school and making her own mark. That ambition? I loved it. We were building something together in the house I'd spent years restoring with my own hands. It wasn't just bills and rent. I was investing in the woman I intended to marry. But beneath all that, there was always this hum, this static I couldn't ignore. That static had a name: Leo. Leo had been her best friend since college. A graphic designer. The type who romanticizes calling himself an artist and looks down on anyone with a 9 to 5. Meanwhile, he was scraping by, designing taco shop menus just to cover rent. To hear Anna tell it, he was her rock, her platonic soulmate, her protector. To me, he was nothing more than a parasite with an ego problem, dedicated to undermining me. And I'll admit, he was good at it. Never anything direct. Always subtle jabs. Backhanded compliments laced with poison. His favorite subject? Her ex, Alex, the musician who'd crushed her heart. If I surprised Anna with a trip to Mexico, Leo would somehow bring up that spontaneous camping trip he and Anna once took. "Remember that, Anna?" he'd say with fake nostalgia. "You can't plan real moments like that. They just happen with the right person." The message was always the same. I was safe but boring, and he was the gatekeeper to the thrilling past she'd left behind. And Anna? She ate it up. She bought the whole concerned best friend routine. Anytime I hinted he crossed a line, she went on the defensive. "He's just being Leo. He was there when Alex broke me. He just worries about me. He's family Jack." But I'm a patient man. You have to be in my profession. You don't jump at the first piece of evidence, you wait. You let the other side keep talking until they hand you the rope to hang themselves. And I was waiting for Leo to hand me that rope. The moment came a month ago. I just won the biggest case of my career. 6 months gone, long nights, weekends buried in files, but we came out on top. It was a huge victory for my firm, and for me personally. So I threw a dinner party. My closest friends, the ones who hadn't seen me in months, were there. Trying to be the good guy, I told Anna she could invite her friends. Which meant Leo. The night started perfectly. The house buzzed with conversation. The expensive wine I'd been saving was open, and for the first time in ages, I felt relaxed. Leo, of course, was soaking it all in like he owned the place. A few glasses in, he decided it was showtime. He launched into some endless rant about an art exhibit, which really just boiled down to comparing artists versus suits. "It's about perspective," he said, looking right at me. "Some of us are fueled by passion, by art. Others, they're just practical." Then he took a long, smug sip of my wine. My friends knew exactly what he was doing. Their looks could have curdled milk. I just gave a tight smile, refusing to bite. But he wasn't finished. He turned to Anna, wearing his fake concern mask. "I just hope you're happy, Anna," he said, dripping with false sincerity. "Jack's great. He's stable. He provides. He's dependable." He spat out "dependable" like it was an insult. Then he looked me dead in the eye, smirked, and added, "But let's be honest, she could do way better than you." And just like that, the rope was in my hands. The whole table froze. Silence so sharp you could have heard a pin drop. My friends looked ready to leap across the table. Anna just stared at her plate, cheeks flushed, not angry at him, just embarrassed he'd made a scene. That was it. The moment everything came into focus. The patient lawyer was gone. What stood in his place was a man who'd just been disrespected in his own home, in front of his friends, by someone living off his generosity. I set my fork and knife down slowly, folded my hands, locked eyes with Leo. The genial host had vanished. The prosecutor had taken over. "That's a bold statement, Leo," I said, my voice low and steady. "Explain it. In your expert opinion, what kind of man would actually be better for Anna?" Be specific. Define the criteria. He froze. He'd expected shouting, not cross-examination. Well, someone more her level. A creative. Someone who understands her. I see. I nodded. So the main qualification is being a creative. Interesting. And I assume you see yourself as that man? I think I get her better than anyone, he puffed out his chest. Perfect, I said smoothly. So you're the gold standard. Let's take a closer look at that. Let's bring in a few more factors to this discussion. Something tangible, beyond feelings. Let's talk about investment. Everyone here knows Anna is in her second year of law school. It's a top-tier program with a hefty price tag. I'm the one covering it, every single dollar. That's not just a financial investment, it's also an investment of trust. Trust in her, and in our future together. So here's my question for you, Leo. Since you've appointed yourself the authority on what's best for Anna, what exactly have you contributed to her future lately? Besides your endless stream of criticism about me. Leo's face drained of color. Anna's eyes shot to mine, wide and anxious. Jack, please don't, she whispered. I lifted a hand to quiet her, keeping my gaze firmly on Leo. I'm not finished. Let's talk about her car. It's dependable, safe, gets her to class and back without issue. I bought it for her. Now you've got a car too, don't you, Leo? That flashy little convertible that seems to spend more time broken down than running. And correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't Anna had to spot you money for repairs 3 separate times in the past 6 months? Funds she took from our household account. The same account that I alone contribute to. Which means, in a very real way, I'm not only investing in Anna's future, I'm also the reason your hipster ride is still on the road. You're welcome. One of my friends at the table actually choked back a laugh, disguising it with a cough. Leo looked like he'd been punched in the gut. And finally, I said, leaning forward, lowering my voice, let's talk about this house. The roof over her head. I own it. I cover the mortgage. I handle the repairs. Meanwhile, you can't even pay your rent on time. Anna has had to bail you out more than once, again with money I earned. So let's sum up your argument, your case if you will, for the table. You're saying that the man who provides her with stability, a secure home, reliable transportation, and a fully funded education is the wrong choice. And by your definition, the better man is someone who bleeds her finances dry, leeches off her generosity, and then tries to wreck her relationship out of what looks like a pathetic, transparent, and frankly creepy obsession. Did I capture your position accurately, Leo? I sat back. My closing statement delivered. The room went silent. Leo sat there shattered, like a witness shredded on the stand, too stunned to respond. My friends looked at him with undisguised contempt. Then I turned to Anna. Her expression was a storm, shock, embarrassment, confusion. But what finally surfaced wasn't relief, wasn't gratitude. It was fury. White-hot fury. She shot up from her chair, the legs screeching against the floor. Her entire body trembled. I cannot believe you just did that, she hissed. You embarrassed him in front of everyone. He embarrassed himself, Anna. I said, my voice heavy now. I only laid out the facts. Apologize to him, she snapped, her eyes blazing at me. Right now. Tell my best friend you're sorry. If you don't, we're finished. And there it was, the ultimatum. Her final verdict. She stood beside the wreckage of a man I'd just exposed as a parasite, and she was defending him. She was choosing him. The love I felt for her didn't fade. It was executed. I looked at her, and for the first time, I saw her clearly. I didn't explode. I didn't shout. I simply smiled, a small, sad final smile. Without another word, I rose, picked up my wine glass, and walked into the kitchen, leaving her standing alone in the silence. The case was closed. Judgment delivered. The fallout came quickly. Anna and Leo left together, storming out in a haze of drama. She moved in with him that same night, no doubt driven by anger and his shame. She thought she had thrown down the gauntlet. She expected me to crawl back, to beg, to undo what I had said. She had no idea that I had already accepted her terms. For 2 weeks, I disappeared. No calls. No replies. No texts. Nothing. I ignored the waves of anger that turned into confusion, then desperation. I ignored the friends she sent to plead her case. I was gone. Instead, I focused on closure. Our house, once ours, now felt like a crime scene. So I spent a weekend carefully boxing every single thing she owned. Not in rage, but in resolution. Like an executor managing the estate of a dead relationship. Once packed, I stored the boxes neatly in the spare room, changed the locks and reset the codes. Then I made 2 calls, necessary though not pleasant. The first was to her law school's dean of admissions. I had a strong relationship with him through alumni work. Calmly, I explained that due to permanent changes in my circumstances, the private scholarship I'd established for Anna was being terminated immediately. The second was to the managing partner at my firm. I had pulled strings to secure Anna a coveted summer internship there, a golden ticket to her career. I informed him of a severe and irreconcilable conflict of interest. The offer had to be withdrawn. This wasn't revenge. It was consequence. My support had been built on the foundation of our partnership. She had demolished that foundation. Exactly 2 weeks later, she showed up. I watched her on the security camera, fumbling with her key before realizing it didn't work. Her frustration turned to anger, then desperation. She rang the bell. I opened the door with the chain still on. She looked wrecked, her righteous anger replaced by exhaustion and despair. Living with a broke, narcissistic artist had clearly worn her down. "Jack, we need to talk," she said. "No, Anna. We don't," I replied. "You made your choice. This conversation is over." "You can't throw away 3 years over one fight," she pleaded, her eyes filling with tears. "It wasn't a fight," I said evenly. "It was a moment of truth. You were given a choice, your partner, or the man who's been trying to destroy what we had. And you chose him. You demanded I apologize to him. You chose the parasite. That's not something I can come back from." Her panic grew as she realized I was unmoved. "But everything we planned," she stammered. "Law school, the internship." "Yes. About that." I let the silence hang. "Your tuition payment is due next week, isn't it? I hope you and Leo have a plan for that, because my investment in our future ended 2 weeks ago." Her face went pale. "What?" she whispered. "And the internship at my firm," I pressed on. "That's gone too. The firm doesn't tolerate conflicts of interest." She stumbled back, hand covering her mouth. That internship was her golden ticket. Her future was unraveling right in front of her. "You can't," she whispered brokenly. "Jack, please, you can't." "I already have," I said. "Actions have consequences. You gave me an ultimatum. Apologize or it's over. I chose over. Now you get to live with the outcome. Go ask Leo for help. The man who's supposedly better than me. I'm sure he has a brilliant plan to cover your $50,000 tuition and the career you just lost." And with that, I closed the door on her tear-streaked face. I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel sad. I just felt still. The trial was over. And the fallout was inevitable. Anna had to withdraw from law school, just months from graduating. The dream was gone. She and Leo are still together in his cramped apartment. From what I hear, it's misery. She's drowning in resentment over what he cost her. And he's stuck with a bitter reminder of his own failures. He won her, but only a broken, hollow version of her he can't possibly repair. I didn't do it for revenge. I did it for myself. Relationships are contracts. She violated the most critical clause, loyalty. My actions weren't punishment. They were enforcement. She wanted to know what done really meant. Now she does. It means the support ends, the investment is withdrawn, and the builder walks away, leaving you alone in the ruins of the house you helped burn.